Let's see. I don't know if it's streaming or not. I think it is. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Harley, can you reply? Can you hear me okay? This streaming isn't working really well right now for me. Space Dingo, can you hear me? Reply yes. Space Dingo, if you can hear me okay. Hello. Sorry. Let's go. Marine Mock, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I need a test, guys. Help me out here. Let's go. I think you guys can hear me. Let's find out. Sweet. All right, you guys can hear me. I did my sound test. All right, we can hear. Now here. All right. Yes, you can hear me. Thank you for that latent reply there. Reaching out to you folks here. Danoby2 here. It's been a while. Hello, everybody. On this live stream, we are going to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Men Tell No Tale. So I have my Jack Sparrow here from Stranger Tides, and I've seen the movie. For those of you who are not aware, CinemaCon is a convention that's held here in Las Vegas, and it's open to the movie industry and so forth. And they had a special screening of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tale on Tuesday, and it's by VIP. It's by special invitation. It was a press event, so I got to see it. I live here in Vegas, and I work in the industry, so I was invited to see Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tale, and I enjoyed it. It was a really good movie. Look, and if for those who don't believe me, these are my tickets. I got to keep them, but these are my Dead Men Tell No Tale tickets here. I don't know. Maybe it's backwards here. Let me see if I can reverse the camera. All right. So on Tuesday, I was invited to a special screening, and I got to see Dead Men Tell No Tale. So this is a live streaming of my review. This is a spoiler, just to let you guys know I'm going to talk about the movie in this live stream. There's going to be tons of spoilers. This is not a non-spoiler review. I just want to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tale. And it's going to be spoiled. So spoiler. This is complete spoilers on the film. So if you want to know about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tale, stick around. I'll talk about it. If you do not, and you don't want me to spoil any surprises on who dies and who shows up, you might as well leave right now. So let's talk about Pirates of the Caribbean. So I got to, again, for those who are just joining in, I was invited to a special screening. It was the press screening. This is the screening that for the press, that when they get invited, and then they critique the film, and then they it's the scores are used for Rotten Tomatoes and so forth. So can you get in trouble for talking about the movie way before its release? I don't think so, because I didn't sign any contracts. I didn't sign any waivers. I was invited to a VIP press screening, so they can't really hold anything to me about talking about the film. So I got my Jack Sparrow here. I don't think so. I don't think I can try. I didn't sign anything. I was invited. I got to see the movie, got my tickets and so forth. In fact, it was really cool because I got to take my wife, and I'll show you. We had a blast. But it was really fun. What's really neat is that we really had a really swell time, but it was fun. We got to go to the Coliseum, and it was a blast. It was a big blast. So let's talk about it. Quit jabbering about it. You guys want to know some spoilers? I'll share some spoilers. Okay. So, put the camera back over here. Sorry, guys, I'm streaming from my iPhone, and I'm a mess. It's been a while. I haven't spoken to you guys in a bit. So, the movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not... And forgive me if my storytelling is semi-poor, because I'd like to write scripts and script everything out. This is more of like, you know what, I just want to talk about it. I just want to talk about the film. So, I apologize for my storytelling. I like to write scripts and then tell a story. So, the movie starts off with Henry Turner. Henry Turner is a 10-year-old boy who is the son of Will Turner. And Henry Turner, I guess up to this point, he's 10 years old in the film. He's spent most of his life studying myths and curses and ocean legends and so forth. So, you assume that he tries to kill himself. He straps on a bag of boulders and he swims out. He straps a bag of boulders, of rocks, to his leg, and he gets on a rowboat and he swims out into the ocean, and he takes the bag of rocks that's tied to his leg and he throws it overboard his little rowboat, and he sinks down to the bottom of the ocean, and he hits the deck of the Flying Dutchman. And we are to assume that he is attempting to kill himself to call upon his dad. So the Flying Dutchman, so he lands on the deck of the Flying Dutchman, and the Flying Dutchman rises up to the ocean to save Henry Turner. And Henry Turner wakes up, spitting water from the deck, and he sees Will Turner come around the corner of the post. And, you know, Will, his dad, and Henry start talking about, you know, oh, you can't do this, you can't save me, I'm cursed. He goes, no, Dad, I can save you. I can, you know, I've been reading up on legends and myths and curses and all this stuff, and I can save you. It's like, no, son, you can't save me. It's like, yeah, Dad, I can save you. It's like, I've been reading up, and the trident of Poseidon can break the curse. It's like, the trident of Poseidon can't be found. It's the only way you can find the trident is by a map which no man can read. So there's a map that leads you to the trident of Poseidon, but no man can read. No man can read this map, but Henry Turner can somehow figure it out. Now, Henry Turner, which is the son of Will Turner, gets scolded and gets thrown overboard, and then we fast forward 9 years later. Now, when you see Will Turner, let's pause there for a second. When you see Will Turner on the deck of the Flying Dutchman, it's just him. And this is where I have a problem, Wesby. This is where I have a problem. Henry Turner calls upon the Flying Dutchman to rise up to the surface, and all we see is Will Turner. Where's the rest of the crew? Now, as an audience, we can assume that to bring the whole crew of Will Turner's crew, it's all CG effects and it takes a lot of money. The problem is that I think it ruins the scene because it's just Will Turner on the deck and there's no one else. And he makes up an excuse. Oh, you have to be quiet, or else the crew will find out you're on board the ship. Well, the Flying Dutchman rose to the surface. Don't you think the crew would know that your son called upon the ship? So that was one of my pet peeves right there. The Flying Dutchman rises to the surface, and you only see Will Turner, but because of budget constraints is what I'm guessing, you don't see the rest of the crew. So, anyway, Uh, well, fast forward to the 9 years later. Well, Henry Turner is 19 years old, and he is serving as a swab boy on board a military ship. And this military ship is heading towards the Devil's Triangle. And the Devil's Triangle is their version of the Bermuda Triangle, but I don't think Bermuda's been named yet, so we're just going to call it the Devil's Triangle. And Henry Turner is yelling at the captain, oh, you're approaching the Devil's Triangle. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. If you, it's like, shut up, boy. Are you giving me orders on board my ship? I'm telling you, sir. You're gonna crash. You're gonna crash into the Devil's Triangle. You're heading towards the Devil's Triangle. This is 9 years later. It's like, oh, this boy is treason. We gotta put him in the brig. So they take Henry Turner. They lock him up and they throw him in the brig, and then the military ship approaches the Devil's Triangle and enters an opening, and inside the Devil's Triangle it is a dimension, it's a different realm of reality, and the military ship, by the British company, gets ambushed by Captain Zalazar and his crew, and they all die and get killed. Henry Turner is locked up in the brig, and Captain Zalazar kills everybody on board the ship. But Henry Turner is freaking out, and he drops a lamp on the floor, and Captain Zalazar hears something below, and walks down the brig. This is the part you see in the trailer, and Henry Turner is like pissing his pants, and flyers come out of his coat jacket. Turns out that Henry Turner is looking for the great and legendary Jack Sparrow, because Jack Sparrow can find any treasure of the ocean. Any mythical thing, it's Jack Sparrow, legendary Jack Sparrow. Plus, Henry Turner is also familiar with the adventures with his dad when they were together. So Captain Zalazar says, "You know this man, Jack Sparrow," and he's like, "Yeah, well, I only know him by legend." So Captain Zalazar tells Henry Turner a message to deliver to Jack Sparrow. So I got questions here. I'm going to pause the story here for a second. I'm curious about how they handle Elizabeth Swann. Elizabeth Swann is in this movie, all right? And I apologize for bouncing back and forth in the storytelling. Elizabeth Swann, I'm going to tell you right now, that's one of the things that fucking pissed me off, is how they handled Elizabeth Swann, because you see 1 minute of her at the end of the film. She shows up at the end of the film, and I'm fast forwarding here, but it's really quick. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about Pirates of the Caribbean was the chemistry that Will Turner, Orlando Bloom, and Elizabeth Swann and Jack Sparrow had in the previous films. In this movie, they never meet each other. Jack Sparrow never exchanges dialogue with Will Turner or Elizabeth Swann. That pisses me off, because I was looking forward to that. That's what I missed. That's what I really, really missed from. That's what I really missed from the last movie, from the last 3 films, and you don't get that. Anyway, the movie is filled with a lot of action and adventure sequences with Jack Sparrow. The movie introduces Jack Sparrow as he's trying to rob a bank, a safe, and as he's robbing a safe, he runs into Karina Smith, which Karina Smith is the girl you see in the trailers, and she's known as the local astronomer. Well, she identifies herself as the local astronomer, but the local townspeople call her a witch because she can read the stars in the heaven. So Karina Smith is dangerous, and she gets arrested. Henry Turner arrives at the little island in St. Martin, and he too is getting arrested because of the treason, because he survived the attack on the ship. So he must be cursed. I will do a Q&A on this. And so Henry Turner arrives in St. Martin, and Karina Smith is already being accused as a witch, and Jack Sparrow here is robbing a safe. Jack Sparrow just interconnects everybody. Jack Sparrow runs into Karina Smith, and they exchange dialogue. So Jack Sparrow, while he's in St. Martin, he shoot, excuse my memory. Well, he's in St. Martin, the island of St. Martin. He's super drunk because when he was robbing the safe, he lost all the money. So he's pissed, he's disappointed, and the compass. You see this right here? The MacGuffin. The compass, again, plays a very important part. This compass, I'm going to see if I can show it to you. The compass right here, this little damn thing is the MacGuffin in the film again, right here. The compass. So, it turns out, but you're not really explained, that the compass is the reason why Captain Salazar is entrapped in the Devil's Triangle. The compass, something happened. I don't remember. I don't know if it was actually explained, but the compass is sort of like the lock and key, and I believe the compass belonged to Captain Salazar. Shit, my memory sucks. The compass needs to be freely given by Jack Sparrow. He needs to give it away. And I did some research, and in the previous films, the compass was always stolen or taken away from Jack Sparrow. But if Jack gives the compass away, it breaks the curse of Captain Salazar and the Devil's Triangle. And Captain Salazar explains that to Henry Turner while he's in prison. So Jack Sparrow has lost his crew. He botched up the safe robbery, and he has no money, so he needs a drink. So he, at a bar, gives away the compass freely. He gives it away, and it breaks the curse of Captain Salazar locked in the Devil's Triangle. So when he does that, Captain Salazar breaks free from the Devil's Triangle, and he's pissed and he wants Jack Sparrow. Now, when Jack comes out of the bar, he gets arrested by the local company military guy, and he's about to be killed. So, and I think his head's gonna get cut off at the same time as Karina Smith is going to get executed, and so is Henry Turner. They're all gonna get executed again. And Jack Sparrow's crew comes in and saves him. And they all board their ship, a little dinghy, and they sail off. And Captain Salazar is killing pirates. In the meantime, Captain Salazar is killing pirates in the ocean, and he's pissed, and he runs. He's killing pirates, and Barbossa, who's a rich pirate, he's a rich buccaneer pirate. Captain Barbossa hears of a ghost pirate killing pirates in the ocean, without mercy, without reason. And Captain Barbossa needs to figure out, why is there a ghost pirate killing pirates? Fuck, whatever. Why is it this ghost pirate's coming after me? So Captain Barbossa seeks the advice of a sea witch, which you see in the trailer, and the sea witch dumps a lot of exposition. The sea witch explains the compass, the link between the compass, and why Captain Salazar is after Jack Sparrow. And at one point in the film, you also learn how Jack Sparrow gets his last name. Turns out that Sparrow was given to him by Captain Salazar. Jack at that point was always known as Jack. I think he was boy Jack, but he never had Sparrow. Sparrow, his last name, was given by Salazar because when Jack tricked Captain Salazar to enter the Devil's Triangle, Jack was on a crow's nest kind of strutting his stuff. Jack was kind of like doing this number on a crow's nest, and Salazar was telling the tales like, yeah, he was taunting and teasing me like a sparrow. Oh, I hated Jack Sparrow. He was like a little bird, and he's sparrow, and he just taunted me, and so forth. So, Jack tricks Captain Salazar into going into the Devil's Triangle and kills him. And you find that out in exposition through when Captain Salazar is telling his angry tale to Barbossa. And the reason why Captain Salazar is telling the tale to Barbossa is because Captain Barbossa wants to strike a deal. Look, I will give you Jack Sparrow if you save my life, because Captain Salazar is killing every pirate in the ocean. Every pirate has to die. Barbossa is a wheel and deal man, so he makes a deal with Salazar. Hey, I'll give you Jack Sparrow if you save my life. So, a little question here. Did young Did young Jack look bad? No, he didn't. He looked pretty good. I thought he did pretty good, and the actor that played him did really, really well. Wait, Jack freely gives the compass several times in the previous movies to Will and a few other characters. I guess I have to watch the movie to fully understand. Jack lends the compass to some of his friends. He needs to willingly give it, but the compass always comes back to him. And that's what I thought so too, because I thought the compass, Jack gave away the compass, but the compass is either stolen or is lent. You need to barter. And in this movie, he barters it. He trades it for another possession. So, because I thought about that, like I thought Jack gave the compass away. Why is the compass so important? And he gives it away in this movie, but he lets people borrow it, is your assumption. Shoot, where was I? So, Salazar... oh, I forgot where I was. I suck at storytelling, guys. I really do. I have to write things down because I forget. So anyway, Jack Sparrow. Let me see if I can jump in here again. Jack Sparrow learns from Henry Turner that when they're on board their new ship, that there's a Spaniard pirate that is out to get him. And Jack remembers. Jack has pissed off a lot of people in the past. And he goes, oh, it's Captain Salazar. Oh, goodness. I remember a Spaniard. So Henry convinces Karina Smith that let's work together so we can look for the trident, Poseidon's trident, so that I can free my dad and you can look for her dad. Because it turns out Karina Smith's backstory is to save her dad, or she's looking for her dad, her father, Karina Smith. And Jack Sparrow's just along for the ride. So he's just like, oh, cool, I'm on board the ship. Midway in the film, Jack Sparrow runs into Captain Barbossa. And they all work together to search for the trident of Poseidon because Barbossa is now double-crossing Captain Salazar, and they all get together. But the little rinky-dinky ship that they have isn't going to cut it against Captain Salazar's ship, because Captain Salazar has a military ship that he confiscated, and that's... Well, no, not a military ship. He has his ghost ship from the ocean that rose from the grave, and it's a very powerful ship. So Barbossa understands that to defeat Captain Salazar, we're going to need the Black Pearl. Now, if you guys remember, the Black Pearl was entombed in a bottle, glass bottle, by Blackbeard in Tides, Stranger Tides. Captain Barbossa knows the spell to break the Black Pearl out of the glass in the bottle. Remember, the Jack keeps the Black Pearl with him, but Jack doesn't know how to break the curse. Captain Barbossa does. He discovers. So Captain Barbossa stabs his knife through the bottle and enchants a spell. And the Black Pearl, the little model, he puts in his hand, he throws out in the ocean, and it sinks. And they're sad because they think the Black Pearl has sunk to the bottom of the ocean. You wait a minute or so, and the Black Pearl rises up, and they're back on the Black Pearl. And the Black Pearl is, when you turn against its sails, it's fast in the ocean. So, Barbossa bites at Donnie. No, Barbossa, he releases a spell. He says a spell with a sword, and the Black Pearl rises. So, they're still searching for the trident of Poseidon, and Karina Smith, the girl, the damsel in distress, we need to follow the stars, because she can read the stars, and in the meantime, Henry Turner's fallen in love with Karina Smith. They go to what I assume it's World's End again, and they go to an island that's covered in diamonds. A beautiful island that's all in diamonds. But the real treasure is not the diamonds, it's the puzzle on the island. It's intricate stars, or diamonds that look like stars, that open up a pathway into the earth, which leads you to the trident of Poseidon. And Karina is the only one that can figure it out. But before we get to this island of diamonds, it turns out that Barbossa discovers that Karina Smith is his long-lost daughter. So Karina Smith is Barbossa's long daughter, because Karina Smith has read up on the ancient lores and myths of the ocean from this journal with a shiny red ruby. Barbossa recognizes the journal and says, hey, I left this journal with an infant years ago. So we discover that Barbossa has a long lost daughter, but he discovers it, and so does Jack, but he doesn't tell Karina that because he feels he's not good enough to be a dad to Karina Smith. So this is exposition on the ship, on the Black Pearl, before we get to the Island of Diamonds. And on the Island of Diamonds, she opens up the puzzle. There's a puzzle on the island, and the trident of Poseidon is discovered at the very bottom of the ocean. But the ocean now parts, and you see this in the trailer. That line where the ocean opens up like a path. That's you're walking. So you walk from the island into the bottom of the ocean where it's air and it's open, and it leads you to the path it leads you to the path to the trident of Poseidon. Now Captain Zalazar finally reaches, because Captain Zalazar's ship has been trailing them, and Captain Zalazar is not allowed to step on land, or else he'll die. And Karina takes the trident, and Karina takes the trident. Shoot, let me see if I remember this. Karina takes the trident, and once the trident is pulled from the post, something happens to Captain Zalazar and his crew, which are in the ocean, because you can see them they're in the ocean water, and it lets them cross. It lets them view and see them. A battle ensues. Jack starts to fight Captain Zalazar as a ghost, but Jack Sparrow's getting his ass kicked because Karina is wielding the trident of Poseidon, and then the trident of Poseidon doesn't seem that powerful, but Karina in somehow shatters the trident of Poseidon, which I don't understand. I thought this was a powerful device, but the trident of Poseidon is shattered in half. It's like a staff, and Karina shatters it, and it kind of like it's brittle. And when that happens, the trident still has power, but it transforms Captain Zalazar's crew into humans. So everybody, all the ghosts on Captain Zalazar's crew, turns into humans again, and that's how you're able to kill Captain Zalazar, because now he's in human form. And a battle ensues on an anchor of the ship, because they're fighting on this long chain that's dragging on the bottom of the ocean. And Jack Sparrow does not kill Captain Zalazar. It turns out that in a sacrifice death, Captain Barbossa stabs Captain Salazar in the chest, but he sacrifices himself. So Barbossa does die in this film, killing Salazar in the human form. The Black Pearl saves everybody, and they swim off into the ocean. The end of the movie, we now get to see Orlando Bloom again, because the Flying Dutchman has now risen from the bottom of the ocean. So let's go back to the Trident of Poseidon. The Trident of Poseidon, it turns out that it holds the power and explains all the curses and myths that have happened in the previous Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So, like the curse of Davy Jones, cursed Aztec gold, all the magic and myth and phenomena that happens in the ocean is linked to the trident. So when they destroyed the trident, the ocean is not mystical anymore. It's not magical anymore. So the curse was broken, and anything else associated in the ocean. That's why Salazar turned into human, and why Orlando Bloom arrives at port, and he greets Henry Turner with Karina Smith. Now they've fallen in love, and they're together. And it's like, and Will goes, "Oh, you saved me, son. You saved me. I'm human again." And the Flying Dutchman is a real ship again. And in the distance, you see Elizabeth Swann running, and she doesn't say anything. She kind of smiles. They hug and kiss, and it's a big family reunion. And then the camera pans off, and you see Jack Sparrow. It's like, oh, isn't that a disgusting sight of some sort like that? And that's how the movie ends. That's a brief gist. I've cut out a lot of stuff, but that's pretty much the basic plot of the movie. My problem, again, what I mentioned early in the live stream, was that I would have loved to have seen Jack Sparrow interact with Will Turner because I miss that chemistry, especially with Elizabeth Swann. What a waste. You bring Elizabeth Swann for one quick shot and that's it. A lot of the banter between Jack Sparrow and Barbossa, there wasn't a lot of that there. Um, there was a lot of banter between Henry Turner and Karina Smith, because they wanted to develop the love story angle and they wanted you to feel more with those characters, which is fine. Karina Smith is pretty, and Henry Turner is fine. They do look great together, make a good couple. But when I see Pirates of the Caribbean, I see it for this guy. This is the guy I enjoy watching it, and I was looking forward to some of that World's End camaraderie. Um, I I would have what I would have loved to have seen in this film was, well, actually, let's pause here for a second. What I enjoyed about the film was that uh, they closed that chapter. They finally, a lot of people didn't like, Will Turner going off into the Flying Dutchman and being away from Elizabeth Swann, and we are to assume that Elizabeth Swann stayed single for 19 years or something like that. The timeline is skewed in this. It doesn't make any sense. So Elizabeth Swann stayed alone, waiting for Will Turner, assuming that he would come back. And which doesn't make any sense. She would stick around because anyway, it just doesn't make any sense. But she waited around and she waited for her man and they got back together again. I guess that can work. I mean, I just wanted more of Jack Sparrow. I wanted more of his interactions, and I felt that they didn't give him enough screen time. I think it's cool that they closed the chapter with Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner. I think it's cool that they brought back some of the familiar pirates from the previous films, like the short midget pirate. You get to see him in this one, which is kind of cool. And you get to see a few other familiar pirates from Part 2 and Part 3 that weren't in Part 4 in Stranger Times, but you get to see them back here. So it felt more like family. You saw Joshua Gibbs and so forth. So it was pretty neat. It was really cool. It's like, oh, cool. So there's some familiar pirates that have come back, and that's awesome. That's really, really cool. Paul McCartney makes an appearance in jail as a pirate, and there's a lot of gags. There's a lot of funny scenes in the movie that that makes it enjoyable. This is a great fun popcorn movie. Is it the best out of all of them? No, it's not. My personal favorite out of all the Pirate Caribbean movies is Part 2. The introduction of Davy Jones, and at Part 2 I felt everybody felt at home. I felt by the time we get to Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Jack Sparrow it felt like home to him. It felt natural. And then Part 3, the script wasn't as strong. Stranger Tides, the ones with the mermaid and the zombies, that was fun too. It was cool because we hadn't seen his adventures in such a while. It was okay. Blackbeard was okay. This is a fun movie. I would probably, out of a scale from 1 to 10, I probably would give this a 7 out of 10. It's not the best, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't like how they ended the magic or the myths. I mean, like I said, it's explained that when the trident of Poseidon is destroyed, all the magic and curses, it's broken. So, like the cursed Aztec gold, all that stuff, Davy Jones, all that magic, it was linked to the trident of Poseidon. So, are we to assume as an audience that this is the last film in the series? Are we not going to see any more Jack Sparrow adventures? That's my impression of this, meaning that, look, this is it, guys. We are closing some of the left open chapters. Jack Sparrow needs to move on and get old. Will Turner's back with Elizabeth Swann. There's no more devices to look. There's no more treasures to look. What is it going to be? Pirates of the Caribbean and the Search for Atlantis in the next one? There's not... My impression is this is the last one. This is probably the last one. I can't imagine them doing anything more than this. And I will say, it kind of bugged me that the compass again seems to connect everything. This little device, this little compass seems to be the answer to everything. And the fact that the compass was what broke the curse to Captain Zalazar, like, really, you couldn't have come up with something better? Like, why is the compass never? To me, the compass is a MacGuffin where it's used to accelerate the story, but it's used so many times. It helps you find what you're looking for. That was the whole interpretation of the compass, right? Whatever you're looking for, the compass points you in the direction. But now it can break curses. Now the compass is a key to a lock to imprison Ghost in the Devil's Triangle. Okay, look, I understand with the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, we have to stretch our imagination, but adding a little bit of continuity to make the story flow a little bit better wouldn't hurt. And you didn't have to use the compass. I guess it makes sense because this is what Jack carries with him all the time, but you could have picked something else. And the Trident of Poseidon didn't seem that powerful. It seemed to, when it was being wielded by Captain Zalazar, all it did was move the ocean. It created bubbles in the ocean and moved the waves. But the Trident of Poseidon, to me, when they were looking for it, was a all-powerful artifact that can destroy anything. And I didn't get that feeling when they found the Trident of Poseidon. They could have done a little bit better with that. I tell you what, though, it was nice to see the Black Pearl, because I thought the Black Pearl was gone. I thought when we saw the Black Pearl trapped in the bottle by Blackbeard, I thought it was gone. So that was cool. That's what I mean by closing chapters. Hey, look, guys, the backstory with Will Turner and Elizabeth Swin, we're closing that too. Hey, remember the Black Pearl? It was still locked in the bottle. It turns out that Barbossa knows the spell. Well, if Barbossa knew the spell to break the Black Pearl out of the bottle, why didn't he do it in the last film? Okay, we're stretching here. We're reaching. We're stretching. Anyway, let me answer some questions. I've been rambling here. Let me get to some questions, because you guys have been very, very good, and it's Friday. So what do we got here? What do we have here? Sorry, I'm adjusting my camera here. Let me get Jack here. The compass part is weird. I recall the compass was given to Jack by Tia Dama. I'm going to have to go back, because the compass seems to have been passed. Again, it just doesn't make any sense. You're right. Let's see here. The compass part is weird. I think it's the last one because he bad spoiler, but he won't be. The second movie is the best. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, when they introduced Davy Jones, blew me away. Since the Triton was connected to all the myths and curses of the sea, I wonder if that means this is the final Pirates movie until the reboot series. Yeah, that's my interpretation. I didn't even read it. I assumed that when all the curses were broken, this is it. This is the last movie. Keira Knightley was blacklisted from the pirate movies. If you know more about that, share with me. Keira Knightley was blacklisted from the pirate. I don't know, these divas, they gets to their head, The trailer looked like science versus myth. Very good. It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because Karina Smith is a scientist, a astronomer, and she doesn't believe in magic or curses until she sees Captain Salazar in the beginning, and she's convinced, like, oh my God, because there's a running gag in the film where Karina Smith is making fun of pirates. They're dumb, they're dim-witted, they're very superstitious, because she's never seen ghosts or she's never seen curses or anything. So that was a running gag in the film. And when she sees Captain Salazar, I mean, she shits her pants. Like, oh, wait a minute. Curses and magic are real. I thought it was all about science. So, yeah, Karina Smith is the anchor to science in the film, which I thought was really, really cool. Your t-shirt is cool. I like my t-shirt. You guys like my t-shirt? I love this t-shirt. Love it. Love it. Love this t-shirt. Love it. What else we got here? Keira Knightley was blacklisted. Let's see, mermaids. I like the mermaids from Stranger. The movie sounds pretty good so far. I'm a huge pirate fan. Look, I love pirates. I enjoyed the movie. It was a lot of fun. Granted, I wish the story could have been a little bit more tighter and a little bit more finesse and cleaner, but I loved it. It was a good movie. Barbossa bites it. Yeah, Barbossa dies, guys. Spoiler. This is a spoiler live stream. If you haven't figured it out, Barbossa dies. Barbossa is dead. He sacrifices himself killing Captain Salazar at the end of the film. Barbossa makes more sense. Let me see. Yeah, the whole compass thing is a plot hole, guys. I don't know how to answer the whole compass. The Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman, it looked like the same set. I'm not kidding. When Will Turner walked on board the Flying Dutchman, it looked like the exact same set from the last film. By the end of World's End, the crew became human. No. I'm going through some questions here, guys. Any questions about the movie, I can answer it. Can you get a... I guess that's it. Any more questions? What do we have here? How are the visual effects? They seemed pretty cheesy in the trailers. No, the special effects were good. I gotta tell you something. How they handled Captain Salazar was really, really good. They did a really good job on that. I have to say... sorry about that. I'm adjusting the camera. I have to say Captain Salazar was done very, very well. Special effects were good. It's a pirate movie. They spent a lot of money. Disney spent a lot of money to convince people like me to buy this merchandise. So the special effects are good. I had no problem with that. A friend of mine asked me which Hot Toys I would buy. You know, which of the Hot Toys. And I love pirates. I really, really do. I love pirates so much. And I told him if they make a Jack Sparrow and a Captain Salazar and a Barbossa, I would buy them as a hot toy. I really, really would. But after seeing the movie and seeing how weak Captain Salazar turned out to be, the special effects in him were really good, but the character-wise didn't seem that appealing. I don't think I would collect a Captain Salazar Hot Toys. And Captain Barbossa came off very weak too. He wasn't strong. So I don't think I would buy a Captain Barbossa. But that being said, I don't think a Captain Barbossa Hot Toys has ever been made. So if Hot Toys did make a Captain Barbossa figure, I'd have to really consider getting him or not getting him, because I don't think Barbossa has ever been made in Hot Toys. And if he has, correct me. Is there a good fight? There is a ton of really good CGI fight scenes. There's a lot of CGI in the film, and there's a lot of fight scenes. There really is. Jack Sparrow does a lot of fighting, but the action is a lot. There's a lot of action out there. I miss Davy Jones. Anybody else out there miss Davy Jones? I do. I'm the actual Davy Jones, not Will Turner turned into Davy Jones with the whole thing. That was pretty cool. That would have been awesome. I do miss that. Overall, I mean, I recommend you guys watching it. It comes out May 26th, so it's cool that I was able to watch it this early. Got my I was able to keep my tickets. I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Sponsored by Disney. My wife loved it. We had a really, really good time, and it's fun kind of talking about it. Like I said, I had a few gripes about it. The fact that Henry Turner is 19 years old in the film, but yet Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann didn't really look like they aged. I mean, they have a 20-year-old son, and the timelines aren't really explained. So we're assuming that Elizabeth Swann had Henry Turner when she was 18. I mean, she did look old in the film, and so did Will Turner. Actually, Orlando Bloom is a mess. They did kind of age him up. So I would say, plus he was covered in barnacles and seaweed and shit. So, Barbossa looked weak in Stranger Tides. Yeah, he does. Well, Barbossa is more of a dealer. He's more of a swindler. So he's up for deals and stuff like that. So, anyway, that's my rant. That's my spoiler. I kind of spoiled a lot. Hopefully by when the film comes out on May 26th, you guys would have forgotten what I said, and you can go see it and tell me what you guys think about it. So thank you for joining me on this live stream, And it is 10:55 out here in Las Vegas, and I'm going to bed. So who should do the Wired Twins from the Rays? Harley Quinn, go to bed. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching.